Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Thank you very much for the chance that has given to me. We are from Group 10. We will be present the material about speech function, politeness, and cross-cultural communication. Before we present the material, I will introduce the member group. The first is Nur Isna as the first speaker. She will explain speech function and directive. And the second is Nurul Asmi as the second speaker. She will explain politeness and address form and linguistic politeness in different cultures. And the last is by me as our moderator. Without wasting any more time, let's start the material from Nur Isna. Nur Isna, time is yours.
Thank you very much for moderator. And now I want to explain about the function of speech. There are a number of ways of categorizing the function of speech. The first is expressive. Expressive utterances express the speaker's feeling. An example, I'm feeling great today, or I'm afraid. And second is directive. Directive utterances attempt to get someone to do something. Example, Claude, you close the door, or they are table. And third, referential. Referential utterances provide information. Example, make-up speaking class will be held on Monday at 1 p.m. And the fourth is metalinguistic. Metalinguistic utterances comment on a language itself. An example, hegemony is not a common word. Hegemony is not a common word. And the five is poetic. Poetic utterances focus on aesthetic feature of language. An example, Peter Piper picked a bag of pickled peppers. And the six, pathetic. Pathetic utterances express solidarity and empathy with others. And example, hi, how are you? Or lovely day, it's not it. Other researchers have added categories to deal with promise and threat. Promise and threat are coincide. And with marriage vows, bids, and declaration of war, this is performative or declaration. Okay, the next material about the directive. Directives are concerned with guiding people to do things. For example, sit down. Sit down. It is imperative. And thought you sit down. Thought you sit down. It is interrogative. And I want you to sit down. I want you to sit down. It is declarative. In general, the interrogative and declarative are more polite than the imperative, but a great deal depends on intonation, tone, voice, and context. Factors that affect people and using directive: social distinction between participants, relative status, formality of context, and the last one is gender. I think that's all for me. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Nur Isna, for your great explanation. The next material from Nurul Asmi. Nurul Asmi, time is yours.
My name is Nurul Asmi. I will explain about politeness and others form, and then uh, linguistic politeness in different culture. Politeness and others form. Being polite is a complicated business in any language. It's difficult to learn because it involves to understanding not just the language, but also the social and cultural values of the community. Speaking politeness involves taking account of the feelings of others. We also need to understand the social values of society in order to speak politely. Politeness and others form have positive and negative politeness. Positive politeness is solidarity oriented. It emphasizes shared attitude and values. For example, when the boss suggests that subordinate should use if and to her, it is a positive politeness move, expressing solidarity and minimizing status difference. Negative politeness. Negative politeness pays people respect and avoids intruding on them. Negative politeness involves expressing oneself appropriately in terms of social distance and regulating status difference. Using TLN or title plus last name to your superiors and other people that you don't know well are the example of the negative politeness. Being polite may also involve the dimension of formality. For example, in a formal situation, the appropriate way of talking to your brother will depend on your roles in the context. If he is acting as the judge in a law court, the calling him to will be considered disrespectful. Why at the dinner table calling him your honor will be perceived as a quality. The type of relationship involved in social distance is another factor of being polite. For example, shopkeepers TLN even they have known each other for a long time. And the next material is linguistic politeness in different cultures. Learning another language usually involves a great deal more than learning the literal meaning of the word. How to put them together and how to pronounce them. We need to know what they mean in the cultural context in which they are normally used, and that involves some understanding of the culture and social norms of their use. For example, when Rebecca arrived in New Zealand from Nottingham, she and her family were invited to a Christmas party at a neighbor house. Bring a plate, she was told, and thinking her house must be having a very big party if they expected to run out of plates. Obediently broke for empty ones. When she arrived, she embraced it to discover that bring a plate meant bring contribution to the food. This example illustrates the ways of expressing the same speech act may differ quite markedly from one culture to another. There are sociolinguistic and refusal which differ cross-culture. For example, in some cultures there are very general value formulas such as I'm lucid at night, I'm afraid, which are perfectly acceptable. But in many Western communities, people expect to be provided with a more specific reason for refusal. So, I think that's all for me. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Nurul Asmi, for your great explanation. The last by me, I will read the conclusion of our material. Social context, social status, formality, and the relationship between their participants are the reason why people express the scientific function differently of different associations and to identify the different why put on test factor in different culture. Okay, I think that's all from our group. Thank you very much for attention and don't forget to watching in this video. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.